that the Azir ban made NRG ban Tristana here on the last ban?
Oh, it's Sam the GOAT.
I mean, yeah, I personally think so because enemy just can only take Tristana in first pick, and it looks really strong these days.
So TSM going for the first pick Sejuani here. Not Blabber stable, Sejuani.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if he's going to Hex Flash. I honestly think he should.
I think he shouldn't personally.
Hex Flash or Sejuani? No, but like,
I do think you can gank without Hex Flash as well.
But have you seen Hex Flash Maokai? It's actually so OP. I didn't go it today, but I actually regretted it.
Is that because you don't need Hex Flash to gank people? Because you're too good, or?
No, I don't gank.
But
Oh, you don't gank?
Yeah, I don't gank.
The MVP jungler doesn't gank people.
Yes. No, that's why I didn't take it, MNS.
Yeah.
I don't gank. But if you were gonna gank, you would need Hex Flash.
Blabber farms only the whole game, dives bot when it's free. MVP of the split.
And then complain. Wait. And then listen. And then complains.
No matter
His
what.
romp is gone.
Fudge top, Blabber. I can't farm minions right now. I'm gonna out of gank soon. Sucks for you, man. I'm gonna full clear here.
Yeah, no matter
I've
what.
actually said that
Jayce
before.
here, actually logged in for NRG here. We have focus on draft, guys.
They're copying us.
Of course, the Jayce has been a staple for Dhokla and Palafox.
Just pick
The
Yon.
American Jayce
need
is
Yon.
very, very famous here.
Please pick Yon.
Ace Flex pick, of course, on red side to the end.
Yon. 1, 2.
Renekton.
Whoa,
Fudge
Fudge
with Sejuani.
That's Fudge's favorite champ. That is Fudge's favorite champ, right
Fudge
there.
is definitely a Renekton enjoyer.
Okay, are you Yon? Are you Yon?
For Palafox.
Who are you talking
Ari
about?
or Yon? Please?
I think he's just...
For who?
Please? Insanity. How you don't know?
I'm just asking.
Oh, it's... Yon?
You could go for some melee champion that fits with Sejuani.
Huh?
The top side triple melee champions. Pretty good with Sejuani for the 3-3s at Herald. That Sinam would lose anyways.
No, please. Oh, no, what?
MNS not a fan of LeBlanc pick here.
LeBlanc here.
I mean, it's not make sense. Pick Jayce. Pick LeBlanc into Jayce Maokai.
But wouldn't you be happy to play LeBlanc? You say you love playing LeBlanc.
Ooh, the Kaisa pick is interesting here.
You love LeBlanc. Wait, Kaisa versus LeBlanc.
It could be a flex pick on the mid lane as well. We saw it earlier, I think.
Palafox actually
Maybe last week or previous week.
Played
He was
it.
played mid. Yeah. Did they win that game? So
You said that as Kaisa W mid.
If it is mid Kaisa, maybe the one side will
NRG with the double flex picks here going to 4-5.
Comfortable.
Pretty good. I will say NRG has beaten us and Liquid and FlyQuest, if I'm not mistaken.
Always lose to NRG.
Well, CLG. May the rest in peace.
Yeah, we always lose to them. It's always a 1-1, which means guaranteed we're gonna win the next one. So that's actually good news for us.
I remember our last loss to CLG when MNS and Blabber had combined 19 deaths. That was
that?
very impressive.
Oh, the Gragas
the
Jayce.
jungle-
The MNS Jayce.
The Gragas Jayce.
Iconic. So the Ash ban here. Melee ban follows from TSM.
It's actually crazy that I'm 11-0 Maokai. I'm sorry. I just have to say it again.
My jungle
Closer?
die, so I need to die too. 14.
What do you say, MNS?
My jungle die, so I'm also need to die. For his mentor.
I think I might be mistaken here, but I think it was you who was dying first.
Okay, that's
I'm
also
not
true.
gonna be like that guy here,
that's
you know,
also
and
true.
call you out on stage, but I think you were the one feeding the most in that game.
Yeah, that's also
So
true.
the brown ban here from NRG, probably indicating they want some sort of melee support, some sort of Nautilus, rail type of champion. Because brown's good against engage.
No, Braum is really good against Maokai Jayce. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if NRG thinks that brown would be a good blind pick for TSM. I don't really think it would be, since TSM needs some engage against this long-range team comp. Maokai Jayce,
But it has TFT
probably
synergy.
AP Kaisa.
Like frozen synergy with Sejuani, you know?
I don't play TFT. Is
like-
Frozen Synergy like,
Wait,
I think?
I don't play TFT
isn't it
either.
like the RP stuff, like Freljords have
Freljords,
synergy?
that's what they're called, not frozen.
I remember-
Freljords.
When I was in TSM, we got stomped by Team Liquid playing some sort of Ash Brown Sejuani team
I
comp.
remember. They were playing like Nunu, Anivia,
Yeah, we got
Ash,
clowned on so hard
Were they
by a
playing
meme
top
comp. It was embarrassing.
Volibear. It was like, I remember the comp now.
Another Aphelios Varus matchup. Does Chime log in Heimerdinger here like I did, because I'm the goat.
No, you can't.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, Milio in the 4-5 end.
Ooh.
What do you think about Milio right now, Sven? You seem to be drawing it in the 1-2-3 phase, but other Milios have not been looking nearly as strong.
Yeah, I mean, my boy Vulcan took a fat L here just before we came into the studios. I do think the melee is still strong, but needs some physical damage to play it. You need some sort of Kindred, Jayce, you know, more than just your AD carry to play melee effectively. I'm going for the Alistar blind pick here. I'm not personally the biggest fan of Alistar against long-range poke, because it often feels like you can't even get in there before you're already dead. But, I mean, I respect it.
Maybe he was scared of the R5 Alistar.
Yeah, I mean,
He couldn't give Alistar.
I wouldn't say Alistar is super good against LeBlanc, Renekton, Sejuani either, but we have a very nice matchup here in ball lane that's gonna go 5-5 farm.
Why did
entire game with
NRG
zero
ban
action,
Braum?
so I like that. Yeah, the NRG banning Braum when Braum would have been the best pick for them here is quite ironic.
Wait, but they were gonna blind AD.
Yeah, I mean, I think banning Braum when your team comp allows you to play a range champ against Braum or counter pick the male champs with Braum doesn't make much sense, but you know, NRG did beat us, so they must be on us, right?
That's actually a good point.
MNS,
Yeah.
walk me through this matchup, LeBlanc versus Kaisa. How does it go? What happens?
I mean, personally, matchup is winning for Kaisa, but yeah, LeBlanc have Sejuani, so hopefully.
jungle diff is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
That's good.
that's all for the LC9 lounge. Let's see if the castles can match.
Flabber himself did not take it. Self-admitted that it was because he's not a ganker. Contractz very much is, though. NRG rely on Contractz to be super, super active. And I did like NRG's Jayce swap here. They swapped the Jayce from mid lane up the top side. Dhokla loves playing carry champions, and it allows Palafox to flex again. One of his big picks that he's been very, very adamant about the Kaisa winning into the LeBlanc matchup here. And the only thing kind of shutting him down and holding him back were the early ganks towards the Kaisa in the previous time around. I do think he pilots the Kaisa quite well. We will see the early pass towards Hauntzer, though. He's going to at least take some damage here.
NRG sent the team in full force towards the top side to see what they can find, and right now it's Dhokla taking down half of the HP of Hauntzer. Saw that Insanity and Bugi were rotating over.
The real gains would be if Dhokla could fish back around and look for a little bit of a poke, if you could Q to stop the recall. But since the recall does get off for Hauntzer there, it's not really going to leave a lasting mark. Dhokla will at least get a deeper ward off of it, though, after pushing Hauntzer out.
Try and get some eyes on the jungle pathing. We know that Bugi's made his way over towards bot. Getting that leash up for his start. Contractz, meanwhile, starting on the top side of his own jungle. And you're talking, Kobe, about the fact that Dhokla does like to play these aggressive picks. You know, the Hover of the Akshan, for instance, being an homage to a pick that he played in NACL and beyond and different occasions. But really liking to challenge the matchup. And against Hauntzer, who's really been a team player for TSM. Yes, spent a lot of team-oriented champ picks early on, but has shown versatility as of late.
And the team really supports Dhokla in these picks. You know, being able to flex the Jayce up the top side, they level 1 for him. Getting that ward right there on screen in the side brush is very important for Jayce matchups early on. Dhokla, you see him taking advantage of the bush priority, getting the early trades on the Renekton, trying to keep the Renekton away from the minion wave in the first early couple levels to deny him stacking up that rage. And so the whole team going up there, getting the push to be able to get him the side ward, and then chunking out Hauntzer and having that recall is all part of this cascading effect from champion selects. Now, Contractz is continuing in that endeavor. He just clears out his top triangle of the map and comes over to get some vision on enemy jungle. Nice little tracking from him. Sapling does hit Bugi, so they know that Sejuani's up here.
Yeah, good intel garnered by NRG here as Contractz faces off slightly with Bugi, but nothing gonna come of it just yet. Potentially re-establish some of the vision and take away Bugi's ability to stand in the shadows, as he'll currently do to shake Contractz off his tail.
Yeah, and Contractz going to be able to use their own plant to be able to get that ward that they saw placed as well. Really good information game being played already. Knockback from Dhokla. It's going to be just about it.
Willing to stay somewhat aggressively as Contractz is in the vicinity. Hauntzer very aware, though. Bugi stepping up to Contractz, attempting to path over towards his try, gets stunned up, flashes away. The Q from Dhokla used to try and zone him off, but first blood drawn by Hauntzer.
Yeah, that last little trade by the tower from Dhokla gave Hauntzer the priority in top lane. So even though he'd been getting pushed in, he had the stacked up rage. He had the life advantage. Palafox not quite there with the calculator. As much as he really likes that matchup, he flashed in for the auto Q. Thought he was going to have enough. Not enough, though, on the LeBlanc, and it ends up just being down a flash. A very critical, gankable champion in the mid lane here to be without a flash, too. So as much as we're putting a lot of effort and stock into this Kaisa mid, that was opened up by the flex of Jayce to top side. Now it's vulnerable. No flash. I would call Bugi immediately. Get over here, punish that Kaisa, very gankable, and here we go. Contractz was trying to keep Bugi out away from Dhokla as he had just took a bad trade with Hauntzer, but it ends up being Contractz the one who has to pay the price in the end, because even though you flash over, Hauntzer's able to flash follow, guaranteed stun, and he's the one who's able to pick up the red buff off of that as well. So Hauntzer really happy with how the early stages have turned around. As much as NRG had been playing a good information game, if you play the bad trade and you're down pressure then in topside, Renekton gets to come over, collect that kill as well.
But these were attempts at proactivity from the NRG side. Dhokla was aggressing onto that wave, wanted to get Hauntzer poked as much as possible. Palafox was going for the play across mid that ended up grabbing his own flash here. And now we're seeing the priority of establishing the Vision down bot.
Yeah, I mean, NRG almost kind of defeating themselves in the early game in both mid lane and top side. Chime here, able to headbutt the crab into their own side here. TSM territory, Bugi comes to collect. Thank you very much, team. And Bugi now is going to be able to run rampant. Bottom side scuttle crab, speed boost into a little bit of an invade of his own here to define the defensive control ward and keep up this extra pressure on bot side. Mid coming over.
Contractz was waiting with the Hex Flash over the wall. Bugi getting a lot of damage locked into him, though, after he goes back in with a Q. But live given over to WildTurtle. A good stun up onto multiple members of TSM. Bugi has to walk it out, burned down by the Ignite. Ignar, though, now using his flash. So both summoners by the NRG supports. Meanwhile, over on the top side, Hauntzer pushing up upon Dhokla. It's TSM that are attempting to get these advantages on the lanes.
Turtle and sniping with these skill shots. Name a more iconic duo. Under the tower, Hauntzer gets another little trade. TSM are absolutely running NRG in the early game here. They did not give enough preference over to the Sejuani. You have to respect that move from Bugi. They just got Scuttle Crab. They just move in with the pushing bottom lane, and Turtle's going to hit those. He comes over, follows up on the aggressive invade. Bugi and Chime keep him in place. Turtle snipes him down, and TSM continue to snowball here. Absolutely beautiful stuff from TSM in the early game, continuing to defeat NRG at every turn, at every space on the map.
And Kobe, WildTurtle has been such a bright spot of TSM. I feel like a lot of the conversation focus has been around that mid lane, not just because of Insanity's strong performances, but obviously the swap. But Turtle, when they can get him online from a team perspective, he has been able to land those skill shots and output that damage from a hyper carry position. And then also, when you're on someone like the Varus, just get that poke down effectively.
Truly has been putting in a tremendous amount of work. The Cloud9 guys were talking about the affinity for the Jinx and Turtle's ability to carry late game on that champ, be able to snipe people with the zap as well, but showing up big here on Varus already. Definitely has been the most reliable player on TSM throughout their controversial changes in the mid lane, and seems to be going super duper well for them in the early stages. Now, next stage is for Bugi to try and play off of their advantages, continue these invades. He's got Chime in his back pocket. It does cause a collapse here, so NRG are bringing 4 to collapse and defend.
Ignar and Palafox have to be wary of Insanity's positioning. Bugi with Dhokla and Contractz upon him, looking for the Q over the wall. Hauntzer and Bugi slightly knocked back, but stun land onto one off the Glacial Prison, and Contractz has fallen. Insanity starting to build up with that kill count.
TSM just continue to pressure with their winning ways here. They yoink it, they get the kill on the Contractz as well. Now the only thing left for them to do is to buy a reset for Insanity to get a clear path back to mid. NRG 3-person trying to deny him access, and Contractz is going to be able to get respawn down to the bottom side of the map. At least Palafox gets it into the turret. Insanity at least won't lose any minions though for it, and unless it turns into turret plate money. Huge success again for TSM off the back of that one.
And with Chime rotating towards mid, an attempt to make sure Palafox doesn't get too much damage, ends up throwing the lock onto Insanity. A far Ignar ultimate with the Deb's charge. Root onto Chime, but okay. Separation now.
That's actually really big cooldown. The first Nautilus ultimate here. Chime, if he's able to get level 6, they might be able to do something. It's going to just be a trade though. NRG going to pick up the Dragon. TSM say, fine, you can have bottom side priority. We'll just take the Rift Herald and trade, get our early money, keep trying to snowball this lead.
A 1.6k gold lead at that for TSM as we are approaching 10 minutes here. We'll be able to secure this Rift Herald with that first Dragon falling on the bot side in favor of NRG. But what are you thinking NRG need to do in this position when they were attempting to aggress, but it wasn't going in their favor?
I think they just need to try and limit the losses that they're sustaining up here. They keep getting outplayed and just control bottom side of the map. You've got Dragon stacking starting now. You have Maokai. Keep on investing your saplings down towards this bottom side. Make sure Aphelios can scale and try and win your fights later. I do want to say, though, that even though we've had back-to-back LeBlanc Shiv games, we are on 13-13. So the AP ratio to minions on the minion damage has been removed. And it was reduced 20% from 50% down to 30% on champion damage as well. Looks like they don't care though. Jensen and Insanity still going for the static shiv for the wave clear. And now roaming up to the top side. That's got to be another one.
Glacial Prison and more utilized to lock down Dhokla. And even though NRG had the intel from Insanity, the pathing from Bugi was good and Dhokla had no time to be able to retreat.
They're just making it look too easy here. TSM find the kill under the tower, nails the Sejuani ultimate. It is going to be a opposite side of the map play attempt from NRG. You see Maokai and Palafox both leaking into the river, trying to clear away some of the vision and threatening a bottom side move, but TSM well aware, they defend it. Nobody's going to fall. Bottom side is at their tower. Insanity pretty safe on this LeBlanc with flash still, with passive active still. No problems at all arising for this team. And that early push with the static shiv still providing them the space to work with. Even can go in, pop the saplings without taking any damage here. Bottom side has remained very steady, very stable for them. See, NRG, if they can start to slow this bleeding, because the Rift Herald still has to be dealt with. So I think Bugi, as long as he makes a bottom side play here, you know, you've got Raptors as well as Krugs available. See if they can make some sort of pick first. Varus ultimate, Sejuani ultimate, when that comes back off of cooldown. And then turn that into a hard Rift Herald play. You've got plenty of time to gain money off those plates.
And TSM's advantages are coming from multiple points of the map. So, of course, over on the top, you can see there's only 2 plates available on that turret. Dhokla's flash will be up in a little bit of time, but had been taken as well.
Yeah, I think it's just that it's most rewarding to make the play off of bottom side. Turtle will give you that return on investment. He is going with the lethality Varus build here. So stack up his tier, turn it into the Muramana later, rushing on the Ghost Blade, the extra speed, the extra out of combat move speed being built up to try and join some of these plays. And here it is, Bugi is looking towards the bottom half. His Sejuani ult is back off cooldown, so they want to combo those.
And Chime and Bugi now able to take out this control ward. Ignar is in the vicinity, but will be seen on TSM's ward. So it's TSM that are looking to have the leg up here. FBI does have flash if he needs it, uses it over the wall. Same with Ignar. So TSM, even though Palafox is coming nearby, they've got Bugi able to channel himself out of here. A safe escape for them after getting both of the flashes of that bot lane, and still with the Rift Herald in pocket. Of course, Bugi having backed now, but will be able to drop it soon.
Yeah, I feel like he's been extremely efficient with his time. Bugi kind of surgical in both of these plays. He gets the top side dive, nails the Sejuani ult, immediately back out. Bottom side here gets both summoners off of FBI. Doesn't stick around for anything more. Because he has the Rift Herald, you get that much quicker recall, and he can get the reset and just run straight mid. They're going to drop it for Insanity instead of bottom side. Turtle not needing any of that extra help, and then Insanity will be the beneficiary of the Rift Herald turret plates.
An excellent adaptation from TSM to not just grab those summoners from the bot side of NRG, but when you see the play opportunity, drop that Rift Herald on mid before the plates fall. So you can still accrue a few of those. And mid is a safe place to always want to crack that turret open to increase your opportunity to control the river once those next neutral objectives spawn, because the next dragon is coming up in about 35 seconds time.
And it looks good for TSM. They have really deep wards already from these multiple invades from Bugi. So they've got the setup already in place before anybody even arrives. Topside has also gone their way. Dhokla's now low on mana. Shock Blast goes wide. Hauntzer doesn't even have a scratch on him. Teleport's already for both of them. So a teleporting in level 11 with Flash Renekton and Stridebreaker already complete would mean TSM have tremendous leverage in the possibilities here towards Dragon. So I would highly recommend towards NRG, give this up. Do not fight it. Do not want to give over more kills to this TSM squad.
Because NRG did get that first Dragon, which was traded for that Rift Herald for TSM, they don't have to worry about this stacking just yet. This will be the first Dragon for TSM to grab, but it's advantages for them across the board. Kobe, you're noting, look at the way Hauntzer has been able to farm up and keep that pressure on Dhokla, all off of that initial kind of 2v2. They never really let up on that side. Getting some pressure across mid. It's been going good for TSM.
It certainly has. Turtle gets the tower now as well. First tower bonus. Dragon picked up, kind of demolishing this map. So much control too from TSM. It hasn't been flashy. It has just been pure outplays here for them. Now they can easily rotate Turtle over. They already took bottom side turret. Just move him up to mid lane. Rift Herald number 2 is an easy transition. And NRG, again, have to keep conceding because they constantly are behind here. And you're running on a pretty early power curve here, too. With Lethality Varus coming online immediately, with that poke damage, you have so many people on your team willing to set you up, willing to hold enemies in place, make the snipes easy for Turtle. And they can easily just deny your play on bottom side of the map as well. Renekton teleporting behind. They can't stop his teleport out, though!
Yes, Dhokla able to get it, but at least you do trade the teleport for teleport and keep that bot turret safe.
Yeah, I guess they could have had Insanity try and get the vision, stay in there with LeBlanc, and then maybe Hauntzer would have been like flash forward and go for a flash stone, but no reason for TSM to use any extra cooldowns there, so Dhokla does get out. Still gonna mean that mid push goes the way of TSM. NRG will transfer and at least get their cross-map play, finally ending up evening that turret, but TSM still very happy. Bottom side push into mid side turret here. And Bugi has still yet to use the second Rift Herald. Can save that one for a side turret knockdown.
And that first one was a great way to weaken that mid turret, which they were able to just reap the reward of finishing it off. And now setting up on the bot side, though, multiple members of NRG are here to potentially contest. Nature's Grasp thrown out by Contractz, but answered by the Glacial Prison, Bugi with the disengage. And you do have to worry when Turtle has the range he can to just poke from elsewhere if you do get a lockdown from someone like Bugi.
Yeah, and you get your blue buff here, you defend for NRG, but it costs you on the other side of the map. Hauntzer, left alone, gets another one for TSM. All outers down. Really smart progression here from TSM.
And the fact that it hasn't been off of anything flashy, I think is a good sign for TSM. When you're looking at both of these teams in the middle of the standings, 4 and 6, you want to get to the security of those fundamentals and playing through advantages on these lanes.
And Insanity isn't even that vulnerable on bottom side because Hex Gates will allow defenses for TSM to come as well. So even though there's 3 members from NRG, no dive or anything, just bully down the tower, get that gold for yourself, don't risk anything. Rested TSM is able to arrive, and they'll be able to push out in mid as well as top.
So NRG still finding ways to keep themselves in it by breaking open those side lanes. And if you're watching yesterday, you know they have the ability to steal away a game even when down in the early game. And that is crucial when you're going against TSM, who have been really pushing it.
Yeah, yesterday they won the game while being down in gold because Contractz was able to make that pick because they won those team fights versus Team Liquid. And they also won a big comeback game last week. NRG have constantly been able to look for late game plays where even though they're in a bad position and they're down as a team, overall gold value, maybe neutral objectives, because they've been able to find these picks, mostly off the back of Contractz in multiple scenarios, they still have been able to rush through and kind of steal a couple of these wins. So see if they can do the same here because they certainly are going to have to deal with a pretty big deficit at the hands of TSM.
Dropping down in mid at just after 19 minutes. Rift Herald will be able to get the charge, and Contractz did use the Nature's Grasp just to keep TSM in place, not be able to follow up. Meanwhile, Dhokla sees that Hauntzer's trying to recall, waits to throw out the Shock Blast just to delay it as much as possible.
What NRG could try and do, maybe get Ignar into one of his more creative positionings. This is a player that always is willing to play the invasion game, look for a control ward sweeper and try and move his way up through Fog of War. Then if you get a Nautilus pick into Kaisa follow-up with someone else there, try and start to snowball your way back. If you can pick off a member of TSM, that's a little bit of gold in your pocket. Maybe you could transition that into an objective or something, but TSM doing a very good job. You see them not letting any of those energy wards get onto their side of the map. Bugi constantly coming through, clearing them out, constantly hovering behind Turtle, kind of escorting him up to the tower here to be able to get another objective. And now you can just retreat down to that dragon. Mid tower's already been taken out, secondary one taken out, push out the extra wave, and then go collect your rewards.
Wild NRG are hoping they can get to a place where they can swing some of their builds. You know, Palafox now finishing the Nashers, now finishing the Static Shiv. They got to get there, and TSM are making sure that they take every opportunity to knock these turrets, to create the space, to pick up the second dragon. Yeah,
and it's still so easy. Even with the AP nerfs to the Static Shiv, it's not, you know, completely annihilating the mini waves, but it's plenty for TSM. Insanity here on bottom side, continually pushing up, as well as having Varus in mid, keep that pressure. So they don't allow any of these areas for NRG to catch them by surprise. Another tower down simultaneously with the dragon pickup. And look at the other side of the map. You can tell just from looking at the mini-map, Hauntzer playing safe on the weak side. He knows NRG can only be up here since his team just took out dragon and bottom side tower, and they fully have blue quadrant warded. So by process of elimination, TSM able to keep Hauntzer safe, able to continually to slowly increase their lead. And now we set up for the big ones. Baron is here, objective bounty is on, so NRG gonna try and get some value out of these saplings and out of their pre-existing vision. Look for a pick.
And see if they can take advantage of this chance to set up around it and get those saplings, as you mentioned, down, because TSM are feeling pretty good about their lead. Bugi seeks out FBI, uses the Glacial Prison, which does get the cleanse from him, and the flash as well. WildTurtle following over the wall, fail of arrows and more, taking down the enemy bot laner.
Classic Turtle flashing forward. This one didn't have a lot of risk to it. Oh! He even went to the same spot. He went to the same spot on the wall to try and follow. We're not done yet. Bugi's got one more.
A Contractz stunned up as soon as Hauntzer comes to the party. Smacked him. Insanity gets the kill. And he said, okay, I wasn't able to make it happen down on bot side. I'll TP top and put that as a moment in the past.
Thank you, Hauntzer, for throwing in a little bit of comedy here to keep it entertaining. Because TSM
we
are
need
just
levels in our entertainment.
They're just smashing. Really good picks for them on the top side. While we were following kind of the bottom side a trade down there, top side, they actually made the pick. And they were able to chase down the extra kill because NRG were trying to kill Insanity. They failed to actually collect on the LeBlanc. Insanity escapes, and TSM were able to turn it around on them. Of course, we did have the trade of flashes on bottom side for the top laners, but really, it's TSM able to walk this one in now. It's 23 minutes. They've got control of the map from level 1. Here it was. I thought it was going to stop at just the cleanse, but FBI goes back in for a little poke, and the rest of TSM, that's all the time that they need to join Bugi. Turtle flashes for it, hits the ultimate into the snipe. No problem for him. Ult into Q, pops the kill. Then we have our little comedic intermission.
Right there.
Just was one pixel off the edge of the wall, and he got a tiny little bit closer. Doesn't actually end up mattering, though.
Hey, I did see there's a sign, I think, that said, Hauntzer smiles, we smile, or I smile, or something like that. Yeah, there it is. We smile when Hauntzer smiles, and we got some smiles from him.
So
that was crowd service.
Yeah, do you also grimace when he grimaces? That was nice. We must copy every facial expression.
Every single one of them reflect what TSM are doing. And I know that there are a lot of smiles across the board when you've got 9,000 gold ahead of your opponents. The Red Bull Baron buff still here for another minute and a half. And TSM coming into this week with a lot of strength, showing out against Immortals yesterday and looking to try to secure a 2-0 for the week with a win against NRG. But NRG, like we were mentioning earlier, it just takes that single play to be able to turn it around, but it's so hard when TSM are absolutely annihilating your map. But here's an attempt to stand against them. Nature's Grasp gets a root onto 2, but the answer back onto Contractz is just too good. Ignar coming out of stasis, next to be smacked by WildTurtle. TSM maintain their pressure across these lanes.
Yes, they do. The pressure is on, and TSM are walking in your base. This is going to be at least 2 inhibitors. Respawn timers are pretty short because it's so early in the game still that I don't know if they can actually end it, but 10 more seconds left on 2 NRG members, and TSM say that's good enough for us. 2 inhibitors down, 25 minutes into the game. Cool and easy 10,000 gold lead for TSM.
That's a lot of value, Kobe. Still 30 seconds to go on the buff, which is almost the exact timer of the next dragon spawning, so won't be up for that. But they can try and get the setup for it here. Already have those deep wards from their previous push.
And I said it before, I just want to keep reiterating though, Bugi has been so efficient this game. He has 100% kill participation on the Sejuani. They were able to get the outplays on top side, on bottom side. He went for the correct invades, never overstaying, getting enough cooldowns out of NRG, and keeping up the pace while the rest of the squad performing here. And it is looking like it should end with a very clean game from this team. All you have to do is finish up your dragon just to tie up your loose ends. You know, like you're saying, NRG has had some big comebacks, so they're like, you know what? Let's not let the comeback be too big. Grab that dragon first before going to top side to finish off the last inhibitor. And now that they've done that, they even teleport up here to get here quicker.
Made their way to the party. Chime trying to encroach upon Contractz, who threw the Nature's Grasp his way. Insanity's got some damage to follow up. Coming on in with a headbutt pulverized. Chime goes golden for a moment, does end up getting blasted. So TSM, for what feels like the first time, are down 1 in the fight. But look at those supers. When you've got 2 inhibitors down, they are making work of your Nexus turrets, which draws the attention of Palafox and FBI to finish it up and reopens the top lane turret for TSM to collapse upon. But Hauntzer wanting to find some kind of look into the brush, but NRG send out multiple FBI Moonlight Vigil from downtown, but TSM still manages to keep in it. The dominance pop, survivability good.
Yeah, there's a reason you feel that way. It's because that was the first kill for NRG all game. Congratulations, they got one.
Woo!
They're on the board. Now you gotta put your rally caps on. That's where the comeback starts. It's 1 foot in front of the other. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
1 kill. Might be a drop in the bucket though. Of course, Hex Skates even allowed TSM to get back out quicker. So push out on the extra minion wave here, and top side should be the angle. I mean, you still have your mid and bottom inhibitors down. TSM will just run right back out. NRG, don't poke your heads out too far from your base, and then maybe they can make another surprise brush play or something. Only problem is they have a single brush that is not warded. So TSM know that is the only possible area that we could actually give this game up to.
Those Hex Gates, when you're going against a team that has already dominated map control, you feel that domination all the more. Even when you get that pick, when you're awaiting the reset from the enemy, they're right back in your face. And TSM still have supers coming from that bottom side. A bit delay for the mid ones to join.
All right.
But stepping past the brush now, Palafox way downtown with a killer instinct. Manages to land half the damage onto Insanity. Expertly navigated, but that draws so much damage to a single player, which leaves TSM trying to get some poke down on that top side. Supers finally come across mid, which means Palafox has to clean them up.
Yeah, I respect the effort there from Palafox to try and pull some magic here for NRG to try and get themselves back into the game.
Baron just spawning too. See if NRG can make any kind of stand against TSM, who did lose some of their vision across here. You can see the sweeps coming out from NRG, as well as just the expiration on some, but in the darkness, TSM start up the Baron.
And wait on the cooldown for the Varus ultimate. Right now, they're relying on Sej.
Over the wall, Glacial Prison, knock up and more onto Ignar. Teleport will be coming in from Dhokla, but is it too little too late as Contractz has fallen? No jungler for NRG, no support. But Palafox wants to follow up with the damage, does manage to reap one jungler for himself. Can't get the last kill off of it, but that does mean no Baron for TSM yet.
One of the better scenarios here for NRG. Really buys them a lot of time that TSM did not stay in Baron after that and did not pick that up. Palafox snipes back the extra kill. Let's take a look at it here. So Baron, they're chunking it down. It's 4K. They hit the Sej ult. Turtle's going to be able to follow up with the Varus ult very shortly. There it goes. They get their kill. They get the snipe on through, but then they keep on chasing. Turtle's inside the pit. He's going to get poked down by Baron, and Dhokla was able to hit a shock blast into a Palafox W snipe. W ultimate takes the ultimate in. Q damage is enough to pick off an extra kill, and the hope for NRG, they keep that fire alive. Last week, they had a massive comeback. I don't remember the exact gold lead that they were down, but this week as well, another massive comeback in these double-digit range that it makes you believe. It makes you keep your eyes open here versus NRG. Their inhibitors have respawned after that last little skirmish around Baron, so they don't now have to deal with the super minions coming in. And if they can continue to try and look around for a couple of these pick opportunities, maybe it's there.
And the ultimate for Ignar is just coming back now. Both summoners available for FBI. TSM lacking flashes on Bugi, Hauntzer, and Insanity, but do have their ultimates. We have seen WildTurtle try and set him off, like he did here. Ignar, oh, look at that damage. Insanity just able to burst, follow up so effectively. Contractz trying to flash out of it, throws down the Nature's Grasp in response. Chime is falling low. WildTurtle takes a big burst of damage, but it's the 2-for-1 so far. Hauntzer with Dominus already in the active, moves with TSM into their own jungle. Palafox going downtown with the Killer Instinct. Hauntzer falling low, no longer in ultimate form, but he doesn't need it to finish off Dhokla. Insanity gets to use the passive to get out cleanly, and TSM keep numbers in their favor, but you can see the Dragon getting started up by NRG. Teleport on TSM's side.
Yeah.
That's enough to be able to push off Palafox and FBI. They don't have the numbers. They don't have the fight. Palafox, though, almost kills off Hauntzer before he pops the wash. And FBI into the range of WildTurtle is not where you want to be. TSM punishing NRG for making the attempt on Dragon.
Palafox isn't done. He hex skates over. Can he hit the W snipe?
Managed to get the Void Seeker onto WildTurtle, but yeah, used the Killer Instinct at the top of that previous fight, so cannot follow up. Ignar latches on with a Q, but is answered back by Bugi. Chime headbutting Palafox away. Doesn't want him to get into his backline anymore to try and offer a safe recall here for Bugi. You can see the missile still raining down from Palafox. He wanted to get Chime. He could not find it. TSM going hard in the paint.
Oh, NRG kept it spicy there, but now they've got 4 in the fountain. They're dead. TSM full control of the map to teleport up to top side to push WoW. They actually rotate over to Baron. They stop their Baron efforts at least with one recall here. Hauntzer's going to tank it for him though. Okay, so Insanity will just keep up pressure on the inhibitor tower, barely not finishing it, while the rest of the team eventually cleans the Baron.
Now buys enough time and attention from NRG, so TSM ready to claim the second Baron of the game. And we saw what work they were able to do with the first one.
Yeah, I mean, NRG, they kept it exciting there, you know, with the follow-up on the play. Palafox trying to take the Killer Instinct, trying to fight with just the 3 carries, and hopefully for them, try and get a free objective bounty shutdown. But you knew since Bugi was still alive, he has Smite, they have a Blast Cone there, as well as the Vision inside the Dragon Pit. Unfortunately there for NRG's comeback hopes, there's no way you're ever getting that Dragon, because they don't have Smite. Contractz was dead. So TSM, they get the rest of their members back out. Hexgate's there. They get their Soul, and now with the Baron plus the Soul, plus increasing their lead, TSM have come.
They're already going for it. Ignar stunned up and more. Palafox goes in the back line with a killer instinct, but WildTurtle has already gone golden. Hauntzer zoning off Palafox, but the rest of TSM are encroaching upon the base. Palafox has fallen at the mouth of the gator, baby. TSM are still going for more. NRG looking to make their final hold. Still some Baron-empowered minions coming through, ensuring that they can take down this second inhibitor, increase the number of supers that they have pushing with them. And the pressure from NRG is all too good. Some heavy poke onto WildTurtle, though. He has to be careful. And eventually, Contractz has fallen. Dhokla, the last one to remain for NRG. Yes, Ignar has a respawn, but it's TSM putting this one in the books. They're hooks into the second round robin.
Clean game from TSM. Controlled the game for like 99% of it. Really good opening there from Bugi. Big performances across the board. Turtle on point with the Varus snipes, bringing out the lethality Varus back. And TSM wrapped that one up. Nicely done from them. No comeback this time around for NRG.
Yeah.
They make you sweat. They kept it spicy there towards the end a little bit, but not going to be able to complete a comeback.
And you do have to commend NRG for trying to find the plays to bring it back. You know, the